Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator. Eh, look like a bug in the camera. Just a thread. Voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I don't know if I've done a reading for you before, so I like to just explain real quick kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. I try to describe the picture the best that I can. There's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind because you'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you and go, oh, I know what he's talking about. This non-exact science, sometimes you're going to have to stretch it outside the box a little bit. He's not going to give me all the details. Details are none of my business. He should give me just enough so you understand what he's talking about. We're going to talk to your dad today. He says you're a worry wart. Worry wart. He says you worry your pretty little head about things you don't need to worry about. Things you can't do anything about. Things that you really shouldn't do anything about. He's showing you like wringing your hands, like really, really being a worry wart. Good grief, why can't I say that word? My new teeth. Well, they're not new anymore. So he says you're worried about the kids and you're worried about the neighbor and you're worried about that person down the street and you're worried about that person over there in the store and you just he says you need to worry about yourself. Then he says, but you do. You worry if you said something right or if you did something right. You worry if you didn't get the dishes done. He says you need to learn to be at peace with that. He says it will lift a big load off of you if you can. He says do one thing at a time. Like if you worry about I got housework to do. Oh my, which I don't give a shit about anymore. There's more important things in life than housework. Oh, he wants me to tell you the story that I heard one time. There was this RN, registered nurse on TV, and she was taking care of people at the end of their life, like crap, hospice type stuff. And she said, you know what I figured out? Watching these people die, that's doing the dishes and cleaning the house isn't all there is in life. She says, I started going out skiing and making more time to do these other things that spending time with my family that actually mean more than the physical, everyday, mundane. So what if he says, so what if your dishes pile up for a little bit? Who cares? They'll still be there. They're not going anywhere. Not like anybody else is going to do them for you. He's laughing. He says, I sure the hell am not going to do them. He's really laughing. He says, but I would if I was there. He's got this huge amount of love for you. It just feels like it's oozing out of him. Big smile on his face. Very calm, very relaxed. I love you. I love you, girl. I thought he was going to say baby girl, and then he said girl. What's he saying about don't forget to take the trash out? He just told you to stop doing all that stuff. And then he says, don't forget to take the trash out. Is it trash day? Maybe he's just validating that he knows it's trash day or that you need to take it out because it's a little too full. You're going to have us all confused, Dad. Don't do that stuff. No, do that stuff. I love talking to them. He said, all I'm going to tell you about my passing is it was quick, it was painless, it was beautiful. I saw angels right before I left and after I left. I saw my grandmother. I love her. She was waiting for me. And it was just peace. It says it was just peace. There was no pain. There's no suffering. They just allowed me to have total peace. And that's funny because right before this reading, I was thinking about, and I have no idea why it popped in my head, maybe because of this, one time where I felt like I was given the choice that if I closed my eyes, because I was such peace, and I felt like they gave me the choice, if I closed my eyes and just gave into it, that I would be gone. But instead, I chose to keep my eyes open, not because I was afraid to go, because, oh my God, it was beautiful, it was peaceful, and it felt wonderful. But because I know I have a purpose now and I need to stay here, I'm not supposed to go yet. But it was so tempting because it was so wonderful, and he's telling me his felt the same way. Just like, close your eyes and go to sleep. You know, and even if somebody is in a tragic accident or they look like they're in a lot of pain, their body is, but their soul and their spirit is not. Their essence, their true essence is not. He says, so know I'm at peace. Know that I made it. He said it just that way. Know that I made it. Says, you know, sometimes you kind of wonder if you're going to make it there. Sometimes you smell him. He's not giving me, I can't smell it myself. He just says sometimes you smell him. So I don't know if it's a hair product or cologne, or maybe he worked and had a smell when he came home. I'm not talking about BO or, you know, anything bad like that. Maybe he had a manly scent, but something that when you smell it, you know it's him, or you will know it's him. And you probably just get a little whiff, and you can be outside in your car, in the store, in your house, doesn't matter where you're at. When you get that, validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more signs if you want them. That's your free will choice. But it always helps to ask. Somebody's a character. Somebody very, very young. I don't know if you have a child or a grandchild. I don't ever creep anybody's Facebook page because it messes me up. That's really a character. I'm leaning more towards a little boy, but I'm not 100% sure. So don't 100% hold me to that. Then he goes, two. So maybe there's two little ones around. Could be nieces and nephews, could be, but they're small, pretty small, but they can run around. They're old enough to walk, run. Something about this one having a really funny, good-natured attitude until they get mad. Isn't that all of us? Don't forget that I love you. Love never dies. Martial arts. Good grief. My teeth won't let me talk today. Martial arts. Is somebody taking anything like karate or thinking about it or Maybe you just watched a show that had it, or you saw a billboard that had it on there, or you might see a bumper sticker that has it on there. They make me itch. I don't have head lice. They make my head itch when they get close. It's just their energy. And he's going like this. He goes, heard it through the grapevine. Heard it through the grapevine. I don't know if there's something that you just heard. Sometimes they're pretty vague with their messages. Something you just heard or something you're about to hear. But it's kind of like a secret. Kind of like you overhear it type thing. Or maybe you weren't supposed to hear it, but you hear it. I'm not sure. I'm working on making them give a little more details. He says it's none of your business, Rhonda. I'm not supposed to know. And it is none of my business. But he's laughing when he says it. He's not being mean. I get griped at all the time from them and here. From here and then there. In a horseshoe. Something about a horseshoe. I don't know if he's trying to validate himself or this is something you're going to see or just saw. Or you have one. Or you have a horseshoe couch. That'd be cool. Something about it's harder than you think. He's being awful vague. But it's his show. It's his ball game. It's up to him to say what they tell us what we need to know, not always what we want to know. Okay, get off. He's telling me I got something wrong with my eye. I'm going to go look at it now. I'm going to be paranoid. Don't forget to shut the door. Don't forget to shut the back door. And lock it. Maybe he was a big stickler about that. My dad had me trained so well that I go in the house before my ex-husband and I automatically shut and lock the door behind me. And he's still out getting shit out of the car. He gets so mad at me. It was a habit. It was a good habit. Not for him. I should have left him out there long before I divorced him. He's acknowledging a Marcia. Now, we don't get names exact. I used to always get them exact, and the more I say it, the worse I get. Now, that might be one you have to stretch outside the box a little bit. It's at least a female with an MMA name. Or sounds like Marcia. Something about her hair having lots of curls or something. I feel like she's still here, but he's not being 100% about that. It's up to him to tell me. But he's acknowledging her. He's not exactly I don't know. He just wants her to know that he mentioned her. He's not really saying say hi to Marcia, but he wants her to know that she was mentioned, that she was thought of. So I'm not sure where he's going with that. He says, "You're as beautiful as peach pie." I don't know if he's referring to, I don't think I've ever heard peach pie used before, but maybe he liked peach pie, or maybe you like peach pie, or maybe you used to make him peach pie, or maybe you just made a peach pie. I love peach cobbler. He's just got a big smile on his face the whole time, and he's so calm. He says, I'm fine. I'm really, really fine. I got to where I was supposed to go. I'm doing what I need to be doing. He wants me to tell you that what they what they've uh, what they've shown me is when they get there, I call it being peeled like an onion. The the healing guides and angels and whoever, they pull all that heavy earth crap off of you, any anger or anything you're holding on to or any of those negative heavier things, so our soul gets lifted up and it's light and bright and feels good. And he wants you to know that he made it through with flying colors and he didn't have to do much work because evidently he didn't have a lot of that heavy stuff that he was hanging on to have peeled off of him. And I've never heard one say that before either. He says, I told you I was a good guy. I want you to know that I'm always around. I'm not leaving a lot of signs, but I want you to know I'm always around. So ask him to bring you more signs if you want them. Ask him, give him permission. Sometimes they lay back because they figure you're on about your busy everyday life and they don't want to interrupt, or they're afraid they'll scare you and you'll think your house is haunted if they do something there, or, things like that. So tell him. And you don't even have to say it out loud. He can hear you. When you get up in the morning, do you say, Good morning, Dad? I don't know if you drink coffee in first thing in the morning or whatever you drink when you get up and you're still going, ugh. At least that's the way I am when I first open my eyes. Especially today, I didn't get hardly any sleep last night. But it's like a coffee cup will be rattling, or a glass will be rattling, something in the kitchen tinkling, something with a little. Even my watch is rattling, but you probably can't hear it. It usually doesn't happen. Let's just say it's a coffee cup. It doesn't have to be. You can't. If you stand there and stare at the coffee cup, it won't do it. It's usually when you turn around and walk away, or you go in the next room, or it's usually not when you're in the same room. I don't know why. I'd go in the dining room to start working because that's where I used to work, and I'd hear my refrigerator door shut. And I'm going, what the hell? There's nobody here but me. Well, evidently there was. But you're usually in the next room when it happens. He says sometimes you sense that he is there in your house. Could be other places, but he's showing in your house right now. Like, you know how you can just feel somebody in the room, or you feel like somebody's watching you. I know, don't get creeped out. So sometimes you sense you. Before I started doing this work, I used to run to the back door and turn the light on the deck and lock the door because I felt like somebody was out there. And that's before I did any of this. And I thought, well, if it's a boogeyman, that locked door isn't going to stop him, but it made me feel better. So yeah, I just felt him. He says, don't worry, I won't let anything bad come towards you in your home. You're safe. So just put that out of your head. So if you feel like something might be there, it's more than likely him. Or maybe he says grandma too. I think he's talking about his grandma. Could be your grandma, but I think he's talking about his grandma, the one he talked about meeting. I love you. Gotta go. Grandma's cooking. He says peach pie. So you might smell peach pie, like fresh out of the oven. That might be another smell you get. They like smells because it's easy for them to do. And it's a nice sign. Something cute. And with that, he's leaving. Okay. See you on the flip-flop. Okay, much love to you, my dear. Thank you for allowing me to be his voice. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. I about forget what the hell I am. Peace out.